How's it going? How's everybody doing? Whew, man. I'm like frazzled, man. Like frazzled. Turkey's got me all frazzled.
Yo, they're so bad. How do you let in 3 goals against Luxembourg? Like, come on.
You know what I did? I loved Illinois yesterday. Loved them.
Yeah, you even mentioned it. They were going to clear the spread in the unders. Chattanooga doesn't score.
Easily. It was, the game started at 16.5, and it was and then by the game time, it was 20.5. And the over-under went from 39 to 43. And I kept saying, I'm like, everyone's asking me, I'm like, dude, this game is 31-0.
I was going to say, you even said that, right? I knew that number stuck out in my mind.
Yep, I said 30. Yep. And it's that, I was watching the game, and the first quarter was 17-0, and then it was whatever. And I'm like, man, I'm easy. I got this covered. And then I saw the score in the morning. I was like, man, Tennessee, there's no way Chattanooga's scoring a point against this. That Illinois team's pretty good. They've held some teams down to some pretty low numbers. But yeah, it was just. And then I logged in, and I'm like, what the hell? Where's my money? And then I looked, and I'm like, oh my God, Turkey drew 3. How do you draw 3? They were losing after a minute.
Oh, I know. It was every time Luxembourg scored, they scored right away. And I don't understand when a team does that. Why can't you just score another 2 goals and take the lead? Why do you have to wait?
Yeah, and you know what? I like that France game yesterday. I knew they were going to show up.
Yeah, I know how you feel, man. I had a parlay that was France -1.5. Obviously, I single bet all of these too, but I love the little extra, $10 parlay. Throw them all together. What if you have a 6-0 day, right? So France -1.5. I had that Croatia beautiful money line that was +140. I had Belgium. I threw them on their money line because I never trust them. And I had something else too. And the last one was Turkey over 3.5 team total. And that was the only one wrong. I was like, these guys can't even score 1 goal.
I was super pissed because everything else too. I had them in a couple parlays, and I'm like, I go back and forth. Whenever I lose a parlay because of one game, I always go back and forth. I'm like, man, I should just. Some of these games I do I singled that Illinois game. I thought that was easy. I have Syracuse tonight single, but I also have them in a parlay. The games today, I have somebody singled. Germany. I have Germany -1.5. I think. It sucks. I'd like to watch this Italy-England game later today, but I don't,
That's my team.
You know what the crazy thing is too? So now Austria, Denmark was winning that group, and now Croatia plays Austria. Now if Croatia, if France beats Denmark, it doesn't matter. So France stays up and Denmark doesn't win the group. So now, and then Croatia would win the group. And that'd be an interesting place, man, to have the semifinals. I think that would be really cool. But excuse me. I think that would be interesting. So now that game, on Sunday, I looked at those odds, and France is +104 against Denmark in Denmark, but I don't trust France at all. So I don't know. I'll probably.
Did you see how many shots they got off yesterday, and they only scored 2 goals? I don't understand this team, man. They don't let you touch the ball. They pepper you with shots, but they can't put it in the net.
I don't know. They just I know it drives me nuts. I mean, they're so good. I don't love the lineup he plays sometimes.
And you know what? Even Latvia pissed me off yesterday. They lost at home to Moldova, who I know Moldova is a pretty decent team, but Latvia, they were killing. They were 4-0 like Turkey. And I guess that's what happens when you take these teams that have nothing left to play for in these last 2 matches.
Yeah.
Like, both at home, both lost.
Yeah, that's
Or
it.
tied.
That I do have. These games to me sometimes, like I'd rather be safe than sorry on these games because if I was handicapping this game, like I like North Macedonia. Like North Macedonia is a decent team at plus 300 today, but like I just don't know who they're playing. I just don't know like if they care. It just might not matter to them. Like.
It's definitely an important match because North Macedonia has 7 points and Georgia has 10 points. So this could pretty much decide the group right here because Georgia clinches with a win or North Macedonia makes it very interesting going into match day 6 with a win.
Yeah.
But I've talked about this Georgia team, how good they are at home.
They beat them 3. That's right. Georgia beat them 3-0 at home.
And their goal difference right now, they've scored 12 and allowed 2 in their 4 matches. So they're like another. They almost look like another team like Turkey, where they just don't belong in the group. Their one draw was to Bulgaria. I actually think Bulgaria is a pretty good team.
It's a crazy group because North Macedonia, once again, last year they beat Germany or the year before, whatever, when they were qualifying for, because they made the Euros. Because now
they kicked my Italy out of the World Cup.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're a dangerous team, and here they are in Group C. It's just so weird. Honestly, it just really shows you, we have, CONCACAF here and people are like, how come the European teams always win? Well, North Macedonia is in Group C. There's 16 teams in League A, and there's 16 teams in League B. This is they're in League C. That's crazy.
And they're still not even going to advance.
And they might not even get out of the group. That's how tough. Europe is so good. If they just had they should have a tournament with just European teams.
Yeah, and you know what? I was talking to a few buddies today about how we were talking, I guess, looking ahead to the World Cup. And they were talking about, USA to get out of the group at even money and all this. And I came in and I was like, I don't think USA gets out of this group. People underestimate Wales. They're a better team than people think. And they get up for these competitions. Canada has no chance getting out of their group if you're even thinking about that. That's going to be Croatia and Belgium getting out of that group. Not even.
It's interesting because this is the greatest Canadian team ever, and they're picked to finish 4th in that group behind Morocco.
I don't know if they finish behind Morocco. I think they probably are better, but I don't think they get out of the group.
Yeah, you know what? Let me look at the World Cup schedule here.
Yeah, actually another team we were talking about is I don't know if you can bet this. I know in golf you can bet top American, top Asian players, stuff like that. But if you can bet this, top African team, Senegal. It's not even close. They are the African powerhouse by far.
Sometimes you can. I think closer to the tournament.
Yeah, they probably don't have everything up right now.
The problem with Canada, yeah, like you said, they got to play Belgium first. So if Belgium,
annihilates them.
Yeah, if Belgium beats them 3-4-0, they're in a little bit of trouble.
I think Serbia can be a sneaky team in their group.
Yeah,
it's like Switzerland and I don't know, 2 other scrubs.
Who else is with them? Oh, Serbia,
Brazil.
Switzerland, and Brazil.
So Brazil, not a scrub, but that's the clear winner of that group. I was calling more so Switzerland.
Yeah, the rest of these
Cameroon.
teams. Switzerland's a weird team, man. They're always so highly seeded. They found a way around to always get that top seed, in the past, and they changed. They made them change the way they do it.
Even in the Euro Cup, didn't they kick out Spain or France just playing defense? It's not going to happen in this tournament. Serbia will outscore them. I don't know what they're going to do against Cameroon. Maybe those two split there, but I think Serbia can score goals, and they'll probably find a way.
Switzerland plays Cameroon first. That's to me, that's big, because if they beat Cameroon, they're on 3 points. Now all they have to do is, and Brazil plays Serbia. So now Switzerland knows if they have 3 points in the bag, hey, listen, if we play 2-0 draws, then we're through. 5 points, 100%, you're getting through.
I always forget they only play 3 in the
wait
World Cup.
till next time.
I'm so used to the double matches. Yeah, that's right. They only play each other once.
Yeah, next time is for the 2026. There are only going to be 2 games apparently.
Why?
Groups.
Yeah, and then wait, it's like North America collectively hosting
16 groups of 3, and then like 32 teams go through or something like that. Only the last place team. I don't know. It's so stupid. Like, just figure a different way, man.
Don't they want to add more teams for 2026 too?
Yeah, there's 48 teams.
There's 40. Okay, so that's official. All right. Everything's getting expanded. The college football playoff, the World Cup. Man.
Just put 64 teams in. And have same group, like 4 teams in each group, and have 16 groups. 16 groups, and you have the top 2 get through. Then you have one more round of games, 32.
It's great because you give all these smaller nations a chance. It's refreshing to see some of those smaller nations in there go far. But let's be real, like. If these teams, if a team like England or Brazil is as good as they are, they're not going to get kicked out in the first round. And if they do, then they didn't come to play, and they aren't deserving of the World Cup. Obviously, like that eventually it's going to get weeded out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like I don't think you're ever going to see an Iceland get to the final if they did like a 64. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to go all those matches through.
Yeah. Yep. There's no way. It's just there's too many good teams now. I think next week maybe we'll start breaking down some of these things. Nations League. So I know you. So I know you're on Georgia today at +108, right?
Well, I mean, I think Georgia's the better team. I think they'll probably advance here for sure.
Anything on this England-Italy game? I don't trust that game at all. But
absolutely, I'm on Italy. Take them draw no bet at +150. You can get plus money for the draw no bet, or take them +180. You're nothing.
England will be relegated today.
Yes, there's nothing Italy wants more. They always get up to play England. They always do. This is a team that never gets up to play anybody, but they get up to play England. And my big thing about this game is, the talk of the town is what of an embarrassment Italy is for not making the World Cup a year after making the Euro Cup. So how do you deflect some of that heat? Let's be the team to relegate England down to League B and throw some of that embarrassment on them, because that's a pretty big embarrassment too, to get relegated to League B.
Yeah,
so
I think that would be, this thing that, it's crazy when you look at the futures for the World Cup now. England is second or third choice, and they're going to be playing in League B. I mean, it's this. We'll look at this group. I mean, they have 2 points from 4 matches. And it's they got beat.
By Hungary twice.
By Hungary twice.
Twice.
They got beat 4-0 at home by Hungary. I mean, that's not good. They've scored. They've scored one
goal in 4 matches.
In 4 matches. And I think that's going to be an issue when we get to the World Cup. I'm telling, everybody's the Premier League is so big. So, everybody loves the Premier League. But I'm telling you, this team's not doing anything in the World Cup. They're not doing it.
No. And the other issue I have with this match is, so if you watch the line, it was pretty even yesterday. It was Italy +180 and England +160. That has shot up now to +210 for Italy. And it's +130 or something for England. Makes no sense to me, because Kane didn't start last time, but he still came off the bench, and they tied 0-0 at home to Italy in the reverse fixture. But Italy didn't bring a single player to that match. They literally brought all defensemen in midfield, and they just crowded the box and played defense that entire match. Now they're going to be at home. They know they relegate England with a win here no matter what. And they got their forwards back like Ciro Immobile, and they actually have some firepower in their attack. So if you think this is going to be like a mundane 0-0 like it was last time, I don't think so. I stayed off the total because, on the surface, these two teams are garbage. They don't score. They have great defense. It's going to be another 0-0 match. But I think you're going to see both teams have to press their attack here. Like England has to win. They have to win if they want to stay alive. Like even a draw doesn't do them much good because they're still gonna at worst at best end up tied with Italy. So they have to win here, but so does Italy. And Italy knows, we don't have to play. Italy's the kind of team where they're going to be like, we don't have to play match day 6 if we can just win this one. We're safe. We kick England out and we can get our day off. Like we always hate to travel to countries. So this is the one they're playing. There's no doubt in my mind that Italy's putting their best lineup out for this match. Plus, they don't have to worry about injuries because they're not in the World Cup. So, they have nothing to worry about here. Go let everybody break their legs for all they care. They need to get some embarrassment shined away from them.
It's interesting when you look at this. I remember this, if England should win Group B with US, Wales, and Iran. The problem is they're going to have to face, so they'll face the runner-up of Group B, which I don't even know, like Senegal maybe.
Senegal is definitely coming second place out of that group.
Which could be interesting. But then the second game in the quarterfinals, they'll have to play either France or whoever finished the second in Group C.
Senegal could kick them out, man. That is the African powerhouse right there.
Senegal could beat them, but France is better than England. That's what I'm saying. Like England's in. People are betting this. And then if they win that, like I just don't see them being able to. And then they'd have to beat in the semifinal. They'd have to beat winners Group B. F and H winners, Belgium or Portugal. So they're not. If I had to pick now, I would pick France and Brazil in the final, but I don't even.
France is not going to the final. You can't bet France with their turmoil, man. You got Pogba hiring people to take Mbappe out. Like
it worked, man. We knocked him out of it. We knocked him out, so it worked. I was, that was crazy, man. I was watching that game. It's funny because so when they knocked him out, I was like, I don't care who they play. I'm going. This is the first time Manchester United had been in the quarterfinals of the Champions League since 2014, and I was like, I'm going. And then they got Barcelona. So I told my boss, I'm like, listen, I'm going to, because I ended up going to games Sunday. I went to Arsenal, Everton Sunday in Everton. Tuesday, we went to Porto, Liverpool, and sat with the Porto fans in the Liverpool end. Wednesday, United and Barcelona in Manchester. And Thursday, we went to Eintracht Frankfurt and Benfica in Lisbon. So I went to like 4 matches in 5 days.
My God.
I was like, listen, it was the first week of baseball season. They're like, you can't leave. It's the first week of baseball season. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's the first time they're in the Champions League in 5 years. I'm going. They're like, you can't. I'm like, hire me full time, man, because I'm freelance, right? So I'm like, hire me full time and I'll stay. Well, we can't do that. All right, see ya. And they're like, man, you can't just give us 2 days, like a week's notice. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. They just got knocked out. So then I ended up going to the Champions League final and the Nations League. I'm like, listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm leaving at the end of the month. Well, you can't. It's a state tournament. I'm like, hire me full time and I'll stay. We can't do that. All right.
It's a state tournament. I'm freelance.
I'll see you later. If you want to hire me, you can hire me. They never want to. I don't know what to tell you, man. They were like so mad, and I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. The one guy was mad. Like, all right though, because I was talking to my big boss last night. They did a memorial game for this kid I used to tutor. He died over the summer, and Yeah, he had sepsis and he passed away. So he played for like the state championship team a while ago, and so like everybody's out there. So this guy was there and he's talking to me, and he's telling me about all this betting stuff that the site's doing. He's like, yeah, we switched over from Better Collective to this, and I'm like, man, this is probably my boss. I was like, wait, what's your last name? He's like, Alessi. I'm like, oh yeah, you're my boss. Like, give me a job, man. I'm freelance. Give me a job.
Oh my God.
I told him, I said, listen, man, we do this betting show daily, and we talk football and soccer and all kinds of stuff. He's like, man, I might need some tips. I was like, yeah, man, follow my guy, plus money, and follow me on Twitter. We'll give you tips. So he might be following us. So that's good, man. We got to win him some money. Maybe he'll give us a job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, but today, other than, this Germany game is interesting, I think, because they have to win that game. Like, Hungary's ahead of them. I like Germany -1.5.
Yeah, and Germany's actually in an interesting position here because even though they have been playing great, they're clearly probably the best team in the group. And even though Hungary is leading, Germany's got their fate in their hands here because a win over Hungary, they propelled themselves in first, 2 points ahead. And then all they really got to do is win their last match and the group is theirs.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And the last match is against.
And, that's what I like about today compared to yesterday because, get screwed on Turkey, get screwed on Latvia, teams like that, teams that have nothing to play for. But today with the C's and the D's, there's actually teams that have something to play for. It's not like just been a dominant 4-0-0 team. Like there's actually, like, for example, we touched on the Georgia match. Like that's huge. North Macedonia can give themselves a chance with a win here, or Georgia just puts it away and it doesn't have to worry about their road match on match day 6. So
it's interesting too because Germany plays England at Wembley on match day 6. But if England loses today, it doesn't matter. They're relegated, and he might use that as a chance to maybe play some different players for the World Cup.
Exactly.
And just Germany's going to say we need to win the game to win the group. So they're going to probably
6-0 Germany.
Yeah. I'm going to be singing that song at Wembley. Yeah, so like it is interesting. And then tomorrow there's Norway's playing Slovenia. I don't know if Holland's playing. If Holland's playing, I take Norway all the time, and they're -112. I mean, I don't even care who he's Holland in 10-6 of wood. I'd take Norway in that game. Portugal, Portugal's got a game by. These other games, Scotland and Republic of Ireland. Scotland just beat Ukraine the other day. That was a big win. 3-0.
Smashed them.
Yeah. They're they're a decent team here. I don't know what.
My Rangers guy was watching that game because obviously he's Scottish, right? So I was texting him during the game because I liked the way Scotland was playing. I thought they were going to win. So I text him. I go, hey, Scotland looks pretty good today. Are they worth a live bet? And he was all like, I don't know. It could go either way. Ukraine looks pretty good. And sure enough, three late goals.
Smashed them. Yeah. I know that. No, you know what? They're 3-1 in the group, and they have the 2 more games. But if they win today and Ukraine doesn't, I mean they're through. So, and they're up into Group A. So, that would be good for them.
What's the group that has the automatic no relegation?
D.
What is it?
Can't go any lower than D.
No. I'm talking about there it is. There it is. League B, Group D, or Group 2, the Israel, Iceland, Albania. They don't have to worry about relegation because Russia's in that group.
Oh, so they're sending, yeah.
And that's another thing you got to take into account is like, these teams, they're still playing to win the group, but they don't have that fear of, we could get relegated. So they're not playing with that fear, the last place teams. It's just like, Russia's getting relegated, so it doesn't matter what we do. If we don't have a chance to win the group, we don't have to play.
That's right.
These are all things I like to take into account. I like to take travel into account too, like especially in these matches where, some of these teams, like again, Georgia, for example, we keep touching on them, but that's a team where like you're playing at home today with the chance to just end the group. Why do you want to push it to the road game on match day 6 where there's no room for error? Like, get it done. That's why I think Italy's going to win today, because they know a win at home, we save ourselves, we eliminate England, take some embarrassment off of our faces for not making the World Cup. And you know what? We hate to play anyway, so we don't have to play match day 6 on the road. We just won't try. That's how they think. I swear that's how they think.
They'll just, the big guys will stay home and they'll just play the kids or whoever it is.
Exactly, right?
Sunday's got, Sunday's Netherlands, Belgium. I think that's going to be.
Netherlands wins that probably.
Man, I think they do as well.
They smashed them 4-1 in Belgium last time. I don't know if Belgium's coming for revenge, but like they didn't even look that great against Wales. They came out with the 2-0 lead, and I was kicking myself early. I was like, man, that should have been a paid play. I didn't even bet it. I just threw a money line on a parlay. I was like, should have bet Belgium. Maybe they did come to play today. And then Wales scores the late goal, and I'm like, there's classic Belgium, giving away their -1.5 lead. And that's why I didn't play them at -1.5. I just threw money line on a parlay because you can't trust them. Even at home, they almost let Wales back into that match. And now you want them to go on the road against what is clearly the strongest team in the group. Like the Netherlands, they almost won yesterday 3-0 at Poland. Like, I am shocked Poland didn't even score a goal.
I'm telling you, man, that Netherlands team is you know what?
They're definitely the World Cup dark horse.
Yeah.
They gotta be. You can get them at what, plus 1,200? I think somebody mentioned to me earlier today.
Yeah, that, you know what? They are. What group are they? C. No.
They're in that easy group.
Yeah, not that. So they'll be on the top of the bracket. But they'll have to play either Argentina or Denmark, which I wouldn't be scared of them. In the semis they'll have to play E or G, which is Brazil, or Spain, Germany, or Brazil. So the quarterfinals here. Winners Group G and Winners Group E. G and E is Spain or Germany. And so you're going to have Brazil against Spain or Germany in a quarterfinal. And then Brazil, Germany, Spain winner against Netherlands, Argentina semifinal. And then you're going to play a final. Like that. If you were in the bottom half, that's why I thought, like, England's actually in a decent, thing if they could get through, or France if they could get through, or F and H is Belgium and Portugal. Like, Belgium could get, like, France, England, France, or Belgium. I would think one of those teams is gonna be in the final. And all these other real good teams are going to beat the hell out of each other trying to get to the final. Like, some of those teams aren't even going to get to a quarterfinal, or a semifinal, which is crazy. So
it's all about how the brackets split up.
Yeah. To be honest, if you're like, the winner of that, the second place team in that Spain, Germany group might end up being better off going down to the bottom part of the bracket. Like, and they could actually, if Germany goes to like the bottom half of the bracket, they might come out of that. It might be Germany against, could have two teams. It could be Germany, Spain in the final, 2 teams from the same group stage. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Do you like any of the college football games tonight?
Oh, tonight. Let's see. What do we got?
Yeah, Virginia Syracuse is the early game. That line's it's been back and forth. It's been down to 9.5 because I got it at 9.5 earlier, and it's back.
I saw that line on Sunday at 2.5, and right away, something inside me. I was like -2.5 for Syracuse. I should jump on that. And sure enough, the next morning I woke up, it was -10. I was like, what the hell happened there?
I think if the quarterback from Virginia might be hurt.
But I don't know, man. Syracuse is clearly the team. I think that might be an under because like Virginia's offense is garbage, even with their starting guy. But I don't know. I don't think Syracuse needs to score a lot to win this game. You know what I mean?
Yep, I agree.
Like even in their last game, it was 9-7 Purdue at halftime. I think that game ended up getting to 60 points in the end, but still, like Purdue's a high flying team with a good offense. Led by what's his name, Aiden O'Connell, their quarterback. I think he's a pretty good quarterback.
Yes, you know what? This Syracuse team is pretty dangerous. They're one of these teams like Wake Forest was last year that was like a little bit under the radar to start, but they won't be for very long. I mean, they're going to start getting some national headlines, I think, soon if they keep winning. I like Syracuse in that game. The other games, I don't know. Air Force is probably too high.
I think Air Force could probably clear that. Like Nevada just got shut out 27-0 by Iowa. Iowa does have one of the best defenses in the Big Ten, but still, like Nevada's program, I'm pretty sure got ripped apart at the end of last year. Like they have not a lot of guys left or returning. So that's one where I think Air Force could probably clear because they're going to be angry. They lost. They didn't just not cover last week. They lost to Wyoming on the road.
I know.
And Air Force tends to be better.
Yeah, that was one of the games I liked on Friday night.
I was on Wyoming plus 17. I have a guy that's like he's asking me for plays every day now because he's been getting killed. One of my buddies who I used to work with, he's been getting killed, and he hit me up. He's like, "Oh man, I need you to start giving me plays. I've lost like $1,000." And so I gave him. I go take Wyoming plus 17. He goes, "They're not even favored. They're gonna get effed." I was like, they're not. Air Force isn't clearing this spread, and sure enough, Wyoming
on the money line. Yeah.
And then he asked me for two.
He would have cleared up his $1,000 right there.
Exactly, and he asked me for 2 plays for his survivor pool, and this is what he goes. He goes. I don't want like big favorites. Give me like the the iffy games. I don't want to burn the good teams yet. So I gave him. I go take the Jets or the Jaguars. Because neither of them are favored. What do you mean? I go, man, upsets happen. Like, I don't know what you want from me. You wanted 2 bad teams that were going to win this week, so I gave you 2 bad teams that were going to win, the Jets and the Jaguars. And afterwards, like, he's like, I didn't hear a response from him. And then 2 hours later, he goes, I went with the Packers. I was like, okay. And then another 2 hours later, I text him. I go, Jets and Jags both won. And he was just like, you're a god. I need to start listening. I was like, yeah, you hit me up for plays because you're getting killed. Then you don't listen to the plays I'm giving you, and you're getting killed still.
I got a kid like that, man. You ask him, and then he just does what he wants.
That's what it is, right? Like he's even a few years younger than me. I'm pretty young. I'm 24. I turned 24 in like a month anyway. But he's like 20, 19, something like that. So yeah, I think it's definitely an age thing too.
Yeah, they don't listen, man. You're just talking about that Iowa plays Rutgers here. It's a big game here in New Jersey. Well, I'm not in New Jersey, but
Piscataway.
Yeah, it's a big game. I mean, Iowa, they just don't give up any points, man. Rutgers quarterback is hurt. We talked about it yesterday on ESPN, and like, I just think that's a game. I think Iowa probably shuts them down.
The under is 33.
I know it's ridiculous. They said it's the lowest. What was it? It's the lowest college football over under total in almost 10 years. And I'll be honest, it's probably going to go under.
Oh, absolutely. It opened at 38 too, and it's gone down to 33 now, and it's like it's going to go under.
Because I don't think the Rutgers quarterback's playing.
Well, Rutgers is coming off a 16-14 win. They have a great defense.
Over Temple, who stinks, by the way.
I think Greg Schiano's doing great things over there. He's definitely got this defense going. Their offense, obviously, they've struggled to score in a lot of their games against good teams. So, it's going to be more defensive. Iowa has one of the best defenses probably in the country up there, but their offense is awful. Have you seen their offense? Petrus needs to go. Like, their offense cannot perform with Petrus as the quarterback.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, all he does is just like he's forcing 3 and outs, and he's putting too much stress on his defense to score points for him. That's not what the defense's job is.
That's crazy. 33.5. Like, it's just crazy. It's just, it's absolutely ridiculous. But you got to, like, how can you, how could you bet the over in that? There's no possible way you could bet the over in that game.
If you bet the over, you're literally hoping, you're like, Iowa's going to get 2 pick sixes, and then Rutgers probably good for 10 points. And then, maybe we get a blocked punt in the end zone, which Iowa's pretty famous for.
I don't think Rutgers scores, to be honest with you.
Really? You don't think? Yeah, you know what?
Nah.
Iowa's defense is
that backup quarterback plays, they're gonna get Iowa's defense is really. I mean, even the game they lost to Iowa State was 10-7.
Yeah. Their defense kept them in.
Yeah. I don't think Rutgers is gonna.
I was on Iowa minus 3.5 in that game, and I knew right when Iowa State finally scored their 1 touchdown, I was like, this game, that's the final score right there. This game's over. Iowa's not scored another point here. I was really hoping for that 7-3 win.
And then what the NFL game last night?
That was one where, what is it? The total was 38. That one went right over.
But it was. They scored. Where's the game cast? They might play. Man, I don't care about that.
And there was a missed extra point.
There was a fumble recovery on the final play of the game in the end zone. The final play of the game to take it over. It was 23-17.
Oh, wow.
Steelers kicked a field goal, and then they recovered a fumble with no time left in the end zone to win the game.
Wow.
So they tried to do like a whatever. I don't know if they're trying to do whatever, and they ended up like that's how I'm gonna. Because I was on Twitter, like I was on Twitter, and everyone was like, "What the hell just happened?" And like I don't know if they had the over or the under, but like they were just like
someone made a call.
Somebody had the under, and then we're just ready to like. But that like, I've had some college basketball games like this where. Like, what was the score? I remember one clearly from college. Virginia Tech was playing somebody, and Virginia Tech was plus. It was plus like 6.5, and they were down like 8, and the kid threw up a 3. The
half-court shot
3 from like half court and went in, and they ended up losing by 5 and covering. And I was going no, like I had Virginia Tech at plus 6.5, and I was just like, man, I'm spending this money as soon as I get it, man. That's the lucky. Like I'm going out and buying something with it, man. I'm not keeping that in my pocket. Like it was a crazy, but that's like this stuff. I'd be so mad, but people like. This kid, the kid I was telling you about, like he's like, he'll every game he bets, he sits there on his phone and like watches it and like he doesn't watch the game, he watches like the
game cast or whatever.
I'm like, dude, you bet the game, like nothing you do at this point is going to do like anything. Like just put your phone down. Just but he can't help himself. I'm just like, dude, like you can't. And so, I don't know. Like, he's like, man, I got to be, Sundays, I got to be in front of the red zone. And I'm like, well, who cares? Like, you can't do anything unless you're live betting. If you're live betting, that's different. But like, if you're saying I'm watching you're trying to watch the game and stuff like that. And now you're watching, hey, listen, man, Manchester United's down 2-0, but they're all over them here in the 50th minute. They're probably going to get a couple goals here. But like, it's just crazy. I don't know. I don't even watch half the games like that. I just bet them, and if they win, it wins. If it loses, it loses.
I like to watch the games. I'm always a fan. I watch the game cast when I'm out, or if I don't get the coverage of the match.
Yeah.
That's happened a few times.
Yeah, like I mean these games, Sunday's games. I mean, now with the red zone, you can kind of watch the stuff, but I mean that's more for like fantasy stuff. But these games, I don't know if you looked at any of the NFL games.
Oh yeah, of course.
The Ravens, the first two games on the board here: Ravens, Patriots, and Bills, Dolphins. This Bills line keeps coming down. It was 6, now it's 5. Ravens are under 2 and under 3 now. But the Bungles are back against the Jets, -6.
Yeah, they're gonna win that one and cover.
The Chiefs are -5.5 against the Colts. The Colts are terrible. There's some weird games. I think there's going to be some interesting games here. I don't know. Do you like any of those early games?
Yeah, I do. I mentioned the Bengals. I think they'll probably cover just because I think Joe Burrow is really bothered right now. The fact that he deleted his Instagram and Twitter and stuff.
Man.
You call it what you want, but it shows me he's focused on this week's game.
Yeah.
He's trying to basically show he's like, I'm not letting the distractions get to me. Okay. We're not going 0-3 this week. And I think people are maybe overreacting a bit to Joe Flacco. Like, he didn't play great. I thought the Jets would win that game, but more so because Cleveland sucks. But it was a sandwich game.
If Nick Chubb falls down, they win the game.
Exactly, right?
Yep,
but that's the thing, right? Is like Cleveland. I was only on the Jets because the Cleveland sucks, and it was a good sandwich spot. You had Cleveland looking ahead to the Thursday game between 2 divisional games, so it was a great spot. And the Jets got lucky. They scored 2 touchdowns with like a minute and a half left on the clock. They're not going to do that again. Yeah, they're at home here, but you don't think Cincinnati remembers that game they lost to the Jets last year? I'm sure that's in Joe Burrow's mind. Like, okay, we gotta come and get our revenge here. And guess what? It's not Mike White that's playing for the Jets this time. So I think this is going to be a really bad game. I think the Bengals finally get the crap together, get out to an early lead. And I think you're going to be hearing Mike White chants down in New Jersey for this game by halftime.
Yeah. Now look, I just clicked back. The Ravens line went back up to 3. It was under 2.5. I was just about to bet it. I think that's the same thing with the Ravens. I think they were dominating that game and then just fell apart. But they're a very good team. Their offense is very good. I don't think the Patriots are going to score a lot of points.
And that's what I mean, right? You got to think like if the Ravens take that kind of lead again, or the Patriots, the Dolphins had the weapons to come back. Yeah, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, the Patriots don't.
Is Mac Jones with a back injury going to be throwing 80-yard dimes to get them back in this game?
And the other thing I think too, the next game, the Bills. Look, I know the Dolphins, the Bills own the Dolphins, first of all. Second of all, they're going down to Miami, so there's not really an advantage, I think, for Buffalo because they could play in the warm weather. And this Buffalo defense is really like Miami got shredded last week by Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen is Lamar Jackson, except he's basically the same thing. He might be better. And, this Buffalo defense is really good. They have the corners to kind of shut down maybe one of those. Waddle and Hill aren't both going to have 200 yards receiving this game. One of them's getting shut down, and maybe both of them because their corners are both good. So, I like Buffalo a lot. I think Buffalo's really like, if you think they're this, if you think, because the line's already down, they're already down to plus 425. I just think their mission after last year, they're just gonna roll through these games. So,
him and Mahomes are having who
MVP
has the bigger thing contest right now until their matchup in week 8, I guess.
Yeah.
I think they both want to be undefeated by then.
I love the Chiefs in that game. The Colts. I mean, unless Jonathan Taylor runs the ball 50 times, I'll just take the Chiefs. Raiders and Titans. I wouldn't touch with your money. If you put me on the spot, I'd say take the Titans on the money line, but I don't really love the game. Saints and Panthers, I don't love the game. I'd probably take the Saints. I like the Eagles a little bit. I think the Eagles are pretty good. I mean, Jalen Hurts is pretty good. Watch them on that Monday night game. They took the Vikings apart, and the Commanders. I don't know how good they are.
The Eagles definitely have a really good team. I think for sure they're going to win that division. But I don't know. Washington plays better at home.
6 is pretty high. Maybe I'm going to hope that line comes down a little bit.
And you know what? Like, the Wentz, say what you want, he still found a way to score 27 points in both of their games. So it's not like the offense is completely dead.
You know what the crazy thing is? That I think that my conspiracy theory for this week is the MLS made the NFL schedule this week. Listen to these 1:00 games. Ravens, Patriots. They've been good for 2 decades. Bills, Dolphins. The crazy, crazy game. Chiefs, Colts should have been good, but Colts aren't any good. But still, it's a 1:00 game. Like, so they put that game at 1, thinking both teams are going to be pretty good. Eagles, Washington. Right, the 4:00 games. Jacksonville Chargers, Falcons, Seahawks. Who cares, man?
Packers Bucks might be the only good one.
Everybody's injured in that game. And Rams Cardinals, it's okay. Well, it's just a weird. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I guess you can't put the Chargers game at 1, obviously, but or the Seahawks game at 1. But yeah,
I always hate how there's like 9 1:00 games and 3 4:00 games, 4 4:00 games. Like, it's always like,
I know. I feel like they should. I feel like they should do. I don't know. I know when the season gets a little bit further in, they flex those better games to 4 thing. I guess there's more people at home watching it at that point because you got the West Coast people. But then obviously, like. I mean, Sundays for me, I'm usually doing something, but then after a certain time, I'm probably, I get home and I'm starting to settle and maybe watch some of those games. But so I guess I understand, but man, I don't know. I guess I'll watch the Packers and Bucks, but I don't know, the Rams Cardinals maybe.
I'll watch my Cardinals if they're showing.
I was into that game last week, but yeah, I don't know. And then the Broncos play. The Broncos are already up to. The Broncos started as a favorite at -1.5, and now they're at +2. The money line is still +104, which is, to me, it's weird. That should be close to +110. But
your Broncos,
yeah, I think they win that game. I think
they kind of have to.
Yeah, I just think they're going to be better. Their defense is good. I think their offense is going to get better. Russell Wilson, it's going to take them time to pick that system up. But. Yeah. All right. So, man, we talk football, and football. This is the round ball, the egg ball. We got to talk a little rugby to keep.
I was going to say the rugby ball.
Which I think. Let me see. The NRL is the NRL Grand Final here. Preliminary final was today. The Eels beat the Cowboys. Ooh, wow.
Those are some the Cowboys anyway. That's a very American name.
Parramatta Eels outlast North Queensland for epic prelim victory to score first grand final berth since 2009. So Parramatta is going to play. I don't know who they're going to play. NRL. I actually like the NRL. I should be, I just.
You used to do the parlays, didn't you?
Yeah, man. I love doing them. Yep. Man,
yeah, I don't. I used to play rugby. I never really got into watching it or anything like that.
The Eels, yeah. Oh, look at that.
Like
the Bunnies, my team, man. My Bunnies are playing tonight at 5:50 in the morning.
The Bunny tonight at 5:50 in the morning.
Yeah, these are stupid. I mean, it's really tomorrow. So they play Penrith. Penrith is nasty. Actually lost 4 matches this year, but yeah, my whole thing all year was to find. It's the same thing. I find these good teams and parlay them together when they play these teams, and you end up making some money on this stuff. Now it's tough; you can't really do it. But Australian rules football, I sometimes would do that as well.
That's a wild sport, man. Oh
yeah. When the guy, you know what? I always used to have Fox. With Fox Soccer Channel, they still have it, but like they would show all those games, and like I used to sleep with the TV on, so like you'd wake up in the morning, and all those games would be on at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So I ended up just starting to watch. I do like the rugby a little bit, the one where it's like you have to get rid of the ball, not the one where you could just keep it forever. Rugby union, I think that is rugby. I like rugby league. Rugby union is just like. It's the same thing as like test cricket where the matches go for like 4 days.
Oh, I hate that.
I like the T20 stuff. The quicker stuff is actually good. And they're actually they're doing a league over here in America.
Cricket where it's like 4 days later, it's 667 to 589. Like, can we just end the game already?
We're going to declare here. We're going to declare here. Oh, okay. Good job. Thank you for declaring. Yeah,
I don't even know how cricket works, man. Where all you see is you see a guy hit the ball and then just run back and forth. Like it looks like a wild sport.
If you on those test matches where they're like days and days, every time they throw the ball, every over, every pitch, it was a wicked googly. Like every pitch, they just go like this. They just block it. And they just whatever. It's every pitch, block. Like hit the ball, man. And T20, you got to hit it. That's why when I like watching the West Indies play, because every time they come on, boom. Like a couple years ago when they ended up beating, I think it was India in the final. They just the last 5 overs. The one guy that was mentioned tonight just came on and just started going boom, 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 six. It was crazy. Like that, I like that stuff, but that's why they they always bust up. Oh, these Americans, they always want to Americanize home runs and everything, man. So, it's interesting.
I would prefer a 3-hour match compared to a 3-day one.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so we'll be back on Monday at 11 o'clock, and I don't know. I guess there's still Nations League games, but we'll start to next week. We'll start to because obviously there's matches coming up, and there's Champions League matches coming up, and there's all kind of Europa League and stuff. So we'll start looking ahead to some of those, maybe some early lines you should be targeting. We'll wait to see some injuries and everything, but so make sure you're with us next week. We're going to be talking all kinds of stuff. So all right, so we will see you next week. Thanks for watching, and